Okay, morning folks. Welcome to the briefing on Saturday the 14th. We just seem to be in this run of low pressure systems sort of slowly drifting across us. This is another one for the weekend that's just going to slowly creep this way. Slightly different picture from the previous one. Perhaps because the isobars around it are spaced a little bit further apart, so the wind is a lot lighter. But you can see, and the pressure is a little bit higher as well across us, so less chance of rain, certainly when we are. You can see you roll it forward a day and then 2 days, and it takes ages to actually get away from us. Starting to look a little bit better into next week, but still a southwesterly drift, and look where it's drawing the air from, up from the southwest, which is never a fantastic direction for soaring potential. Pressure wise, I say 1020, so it's reasonably high. This front here is giving some rain. You can see that in a minute when I show you the rainfall radar on the sat pic. The Taffs, Farnborough, a little bit similar to yesterday. They're not sort of predicting much during the day. They're just saying what it is at the moment. It will become scattered at 4,000 feet eventually in places. Between 7 and 10, it becomes 230, 10 knots. So turning southwesterly, similar sort of direction and strength to yesterday. And prob 30 between sort of now and about 11 o'clock, broken at 1,400 feet, which is probably what we've got now. Gatwick gives you a little bit further forecast, and it just says it's going to be okay during the day. Upper winds are again southwesterly, but not strong. There's a lot lighter than yesterday. They were sort of 20 knots at flying heights. Yesterday they're down to 10 to 15 on most forecasts. So that really gives us a little bit of which run do we go on. I'll have a look at it in a minute, decide whether we go on 2-3 or whether we can get away with 2-7. Sat pics, rather a cloudy affair. You can see thicker stuff out over Ireland and Wales, and this will over us come and go during the day with breaks, and as the temperature goes up, that'll slowly disappear and rise up as well. I just put the rainfall radar on here because you can see the rain over Wales, and there are just 1 or 2 spots close to us. I felt some out there a bit earlier. That'll dry out as the morning goes on and things get better. Sounding models, temperature wise, we're going to be playing with about 21, 22 degrees. Yesterday it was supposed to be 21 degrees, and it didn't actually feel like that. Stood out at the launch point in the wind. We all had coats on, but it will feel a little bit warmer today, I think, in the slightly lighter winds. So I'm working on 21 degrees. Dew points currently they're around 13 to 14. I don't think they'll go much below about 12. So not a fantastic temperature split. Sort of playing with those numbers, you can plug them in. I think the best above Lasham may be about 3,000 feet, but possibly less than that, 2,500 to 3,000 by 1-2 o'clock. Spaces out a little bit more on the lines here in the afternoon, but again, I think 3,000 feet is probably at best we're going to see above Lasham. Cloud amounts, BBC was suggesting quite a lot of cloud. I would have thought 4 to 6/8 and some spread out in here as well for most of the day. And top meteo, Again, I think they're finding it quite difficult to sort of pin this weather down. It's not sort of normal weather that they can forecast in. So that's 10 o'clock, still cloudy around Lasham area, lower cloud, and it burning off as the morning goes on. That's 11 o'clock UTC, so 12 o'clock local. We start to see cumulus and spread out to the north of us, and we're going to see less cloud looking to the south. We saw the same picture yesterday, the slow clearance from the south, really, as the better weather came our way, also accompanied by, probably in the afternoon, the sea breeze. So as you can see, cloudy most of the day at Lasham, breaking up a little bit more in the afternoon to the south, quite clear, but probably with a southwesterly wind, southerly wind, sea air coming in around here. Thermals. I think it will get soarable by about 12, 1 o'clock, a little bit like it did yesterday. But it never really became seriously cross-countryable. It was only up to 2,500, 3,000 feet yesterday, and it'll be the same today. They're talking about round Lasham, 1,000 meters, maybe a little bit more than that, 1,200. But risk is spread out, and obviously with those sort of conditions, the predicted distance for today is not very far. Tomorrow, a similar sort of picture with a front coming through. So that's where the front's going to lie for quite a bit of the day. I think so. Again, southwesterly wind and not a great soaring day, but should be flyable, hopefully. Okay, so operationally, everybody should have had the email about local airspace issues. I'll run through the airspace around the southern half of the UK, and then I'll get on to the Odium airspace and then how we're going to operate today. So NOTAM's near us. Number 5 here is just Southampton's operating times. Nothing for us to worry about. 14, 15 and 17. 14, that's all at the weekend, midweek. High intensity radio transmissions, and 17 is Salisbury Plain danger area crossing service not available. 23 and 25 are fly pasts, one at Cheveley and then one at Henley, up to 2,000 feet, and I'll just show you the timings on those. The one at Henley on Thames will be 12:15 to 12:40 or 13:40. They normally give about an hour for those, and the one at Cheveley is 12:20 to 13:55. It's just generally just one aeroplane floating past, or a small group of aeroplanes, but it's not actually an air show. What else is going on? Further up country, just odd fly paths here. Gransden regionals and Husbos regionals, but really in this area here, nothing of note. Chiltern Park have been on the phone. The parachute school will be operating today, all day from probably about 10 o'clock onwards, and they operate into the evening generally. But remember also that the Booker Gliding Club are operating out of there. So if you had to, you can land there and you get an air return retrieve. 18 and 20 are the key ones for us. The red arrows will be transiting to and from Odium. So this is their route down, and their route down this morning to Odium will be at 12:10 leaving Scampton, and they'll be at Odium at 12:37. So they're routing down this morning, and then after their display, landing back at and then probably routing home late evening, I think about 6 o'clock. So let's look at the two bits of airspace in a little bit more detail, and I'll just screen share another presentation on that one. So Odium Families Day. Now, we've known about this for a couple of weeks, but the actual content of the display, we didn't really know what was going on until earlier in the week, exact timings and what we planned. So essentially, as briefed in the email, the 3 nautical mile radius up to 4,000 feet area is not a restricted piece of airspace. It's just an advisory to stay clear of, and we agreed with Odium that people would just, glide pilots would stay out of that between 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock, because we know there's various stuff going on. So you've got the Battle of Britain Memorial flight starting the display at 1 o'clock, and then you've got the Blades, the Chinook, the RAF Falcons, and at 3 o'clock you've got a Typhoon displaying. Apparently there were 2 of them there yesterday, and what they've said, they've not got restricted airspace for this, but the Typhoon could be maneuvering up to 5 nautical miles away from Odium and up to 4,000 feet. So it's a high energy display, so we just make everybody aware of that it will venture outside this this 3 nautical mile ring for part of the display. And I think it's only like a 9-minute display, so it's fairly short. Keep a good lookout, folks. What does it mean for you avoiding it? Well, there are villages here that you can use. Weston Patrick here is a good marker, and really don't go more than about a mile north of the airfield. Blounce, the village on the old Odium Road, is a good marker as well. If you're soaring, you'll be upwind of the airfield anyway. In the circuit, you're going to be well clear of this. You won't be that far down, so it shouldn't really be a problem. The red arrows, obviously, their display will be, as you can see at the bottom there, from 1500 to 1530, but they extend the bit of airspace a little bit further around that, and you can see 6 nautical mile radius. That temporary restricted airspace, or restricted area temporary, covers us, so it effectively closes us down. It's from surface to the base of the airspace, folks. So from 1555, we can't launch and people can't come back into Lasham for 40 minutes. The airfield is also no timbers closed. So what we're going to do 10 minutes before, we'll be calling on the radio. If you're local to Lasham, we'd advise you either stay away or come back in and land now. If you are caught and you have to stay away, then just go and sit around the Popham area. Popham are busy today. They've got a microlight fair, so just be aware of that if you're in that area. Once the display is finished, I'm sure at 16:35 we'll make radio calls and you'll be able to come back into the airfield. But that's the key, folks. Don't try and sneak back in, think you can get down at low level and sneak back in. It doesn't work. Odium's radar can pick you up down to about 200 feet. Many years ago, when we had this kind of airspace, someone tried it and they were spotted and had to explain themselves to the CAA. So it's not worth it. Okay, so operationally, folks, I'll make a decision on what runway we're going to go on when I get out there in a minute. We'll set up, hopefully have a nice day, bit of local soaring, and we'll be aware of the airspace and not cause Odium any problems. Okay, see you out there.